Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is finally released in India after a wait of 6 months. In Japan, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero was released on December 24 in 2021. Later, it was re-released in Japan in 4D and Dolby Cinema format on February 5 in the year 2022. In the US, the movie was released on March 18, followed by an extremely awaited release in India on June 30. PVR spread a bunch of ecstasy drugs among the anime fans with the announcement of the news about the official release of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero in India through their Twitter account on June 17. While we will be praising PVR Cinemas for their grateful work, the distributor and licensor for India is Media Links, who is known for its anime films in most South Asia nations, which should also be acknowledged. A small introduction to Jujutsu Kaisen Zero for the people who are unfamiliar with it and landed on this video just because of their curiosity and or an obligation to watch my video. Even if you're not an anime fan but just wanted to explore, learn with me. People who are familiar and would like to skip the introduction can skip the video to the timestamp mentioned above. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is actually a prequel to the manga adapted anime series Jujutsu Kaisen, based on the Japanese manga with the same name. The events that are shown in this movie actually happens before the series, hence this explains the title containing the addition of Zero after the same original name, Jujutsu Kaisen. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, the negative emotions of human beings give birth to curses, which is also known as cursed energy, and eventually cursed monsters. The cursed monsters are born for nothing but to bring harm to humankind. Human beings can't see these curses, so neither they can understand these curses nor they can do anything about them. This is an exception to Jujutsu sorcerers, who are the saviors of humanity alone in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu sorcerers can control the flowing negative emotions in their bodies and use that flowing cursed energy to fight the born curses. This consists of a hierarchy system that includes the ranking of sorcerers from 4th grade to 1st grade, including a special grade which is not in the series as far as I remember. The curse techniques can not only be used by Jujutsu sorcerers alone but also curses themselves, and each one has their own unique techniques and style to fight based on either their own origin or nature. While some sorcerers use techniques, others also use curse tools. The objects filled with curse energy and can be used in the same way a sorcerer can use curse energy to fight the curses. Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School is the center point of the story here, as the story mainly revolves around the school, its students, teachers and all the characters that have to do some connection with the school or basically curse. So far, Jujutsu Kaisen is only a single season series which is also available on Netflix and soon going to release a second installment. Personally, I have loved Jujutsu Kaisen due to its characters mainly, who gave me a pretty dynamic parallel of our real world. This anime series doesn't really play with the gender roles like many other anime shows, of course, but I like how this consciously is being acknowledged in its world and seems to deal well with the inclusion of LGBTQIA+ characters also. I would definitely recommend watching it. So that was a brief introduction to the original series. Let's move on to talking about the movie without spoilers and in the end, its box office collection. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is developed by MAPPA, the original animation company for the anime series. The director Sungo Park returns to direct the movie as he did the series, collaborating with the writer Hiroshi Seko, who is known for his work on Attack on Titan. The character design was done by Tarashi Hiramatsu with Shikako Kamata as the color designer. The music was composed by Hiraoki Satsumi, Yoshimasu Teroi, and Elisa Okihazama. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero features an ensemble cast of voice artists such as Megumi Ogata, known for her voice for Shinji in Neon Genesis Evangelion, who voiced Yuta, Kana Hanazawa voicing Rita, Yuichi Nakamura voicing Gojo, Takahiro Sakurai voicing Geto, and other notable voice artists. As I explained earlier in the introduction, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is a prequel and hence focuses on telling the story of Jujutsu High School before the events of Jujutsu Kaisen. The events are shown in this movie happening before the series. Hence, this explains the title containing the addition of Zero after the same original name, Jujutsu Kaisen. The story follows a young boy named Yuta Okotsu who is host to a special great spirit of his childhood friend who he loves a lot named Rika Orimoto. He meets Satoru Gojo who helps him control his powers and enrolls him in Jujutsu High School to learn sorcery while helping him to get hold of the cursed spirit of Rika. along with other characters from the original series. The director Sungo Park wanted to show the story of Yuta in the original series instead of Yuji Itadori but saved it for a feature film and decided to stick to the original origins of the manga that begins with Yuji Itadori only. Lead voice artist Megumi impressively surprised the director Park by giving a sensitive characterization to the lead character Yuta, which he didn't even think of originally. The writer Hiroshi explains he expanded Yuta's plot to 1.4 hours of a film by focusing on Yuta's past with Rika and his interaction with other classmates, along with the interactions of Gojo and protagonist Suguru Geto. The animators of Jujutsu Kaisen faced challenges to animate for a cinema scope frame, which means a wide screen size. However, everyone performed their task up to their best potential to pull it off, and found it satisfying and even more beautifully than the original anime series. As I sat on the seats and started to watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the very first thing I fell in love with was the music. The song Greatest Strength stole me out. Totally. Throughout the movie, background music is also well played out and its OST is really an impressive one. I think the focus on several characters, especially the relationship between Yuta and Rika, was a driving, emotional force of the movie. We also get to learn a little bit more about Satoru Gojo and Toge Inomaki with a slightly little of Maki Zenin. I really liked how Toge Inomaki got a much more overall presence than in the series where he's seen some specific amount of time and we learn about his character. The interaction between Gojo and protagonist Geto allows us to learn about Gojo's acquaintances in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. On that note, the action sequences are really brilliant in this movie. Even when I compared this with anime, the action sequences feel really astounding, both in quantity and quality. The animation is also beautiful and impressive in the movie, as earlier mentioned how animators were not familiar with how to animate for a wide screen. But they pulled it off so well, oh it was really amazing. On that note, I should not forget to mention the work of character design. One thing I was really impressed with in the movie as compared to the series was the number of cursed monsters and characters in general. The design of more unique gruesome monsters made the movie seem far outstanding to the series, along with the introduction to several new Jujutsu sorcerers and people connected to Jujutsu High School. This allowed a beautiful and new representation of this wide world of Jujutsu Kaisen to a whole another level that we might have not seen it coming in the anime series. Season 2 will surely surprise everyone. On that note, don't forget to see the post-credit scene. Just stick to your seats and see the scene. I and my friend thinks that it has a direct connection to the upcoming new series. Mentioning my friend, I would like to give a small amount of credit to him as well, who explained where I lacked to understand the story, since he is more involved in the world of Japanese anime and its shows. I will be honest here, I'm no fan of anime and I really don't watch a lot of anime. This might feel hypocritical to think then why I went to watch this movie. It is because I'm familiar with anime and used to watch it in my high school days. Even then I was not a big fan but simply liked it for its animation and the stories it gave me. The one anime I have watched with dedication in my high school is Beelzebub. I doubt if anyone knows about it. While my fellow classmates were seeing great shows such as Naruto or talking about Dragon Ball Z, I was watching shows such as Beelzebub, Chaya Furu and City Hunter with unfinished watch of Neon Genesis Evangelion. As an adult though, I simply went to the theaters to watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0 as I have never experienced watching an anime movie on the big screen. I have watched them on my laptop but not in the theaters. I would like to assure everyone that I actually watched the Jujutsu show and haven't copy pasted everything from the internet. On that note, let's see the box office performance and figures retrieved from the internet.
誰かと関わりたい。誰かに必要とされて生きてていいって血が欲しいんだ。頑張れ、ユタ。僕は呪術高専でリカちゃんの呪いを解きます。
Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is actually surpassing a lot more anime movies in India, with the exception of Your Name and Demon Slayer's movie, in terms of its performance at the box office, even when it was released in OV, which means the original version, accompanied with English subtitles obviously. The box office figures reveal that Jujutsu Kaisen 0 has surpassed the figures of recently released expectedly big movies such as Rashtra Kavach Om starring Aditya Roy Kapoor and Rocketry The Nambi Effect starring R. Madhavan. According to the retrieved data from Japan's box office tracker Kogyo Shinsha on June 6, 2022. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is the 14th highest grossing movie in Japan of all time now that has earned over 10 billion yen, which means 7.39 billion US dollars and over 5 Arab as per Indian place value. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 earned over 1 crore and almost near to 2 crores in Indian rupee in India on its opening day with houseful shows. The actual figures for Jujutsu Kaisen 0 in India are not available as per my research. However, for the US's domestic box office, Japan's box office and worldwide connection, these are the figures as per the time I am winding up this video's editing. That's it for my honest take on Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie released recently in India. I believe the success of the movie will set a new trend for anime movies being wholeheartedly welcomed in India, allowing more screenings and open-mindedness towards the genre. Tell me what you think about the movie if you have watched it, or whatever you think about anime movies in general. If you haven't watched it yet, I would definitely recommend watching it in your near theaters. The Blu-ray version of Jujutsu Kaisen 0 will release on September 21, 2022 in Japan. Don't forget to share this video with your friends if you like it and press the subscribe button to be updated with my more upcoming videos. I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.
If you gon' do it, then 他にの次 Yo, everybody just talk, nobody really do it なんならやるまでしとけよ秘密に